Paul Britt's Coach's Corner. I'm Paul Britt, and this is my Coach's Corner. Before we go any further, we have to mention our sponsors. 8 is greater than 80. Those who know will definitely know. Integrated Media. As you can see, the boys are doing their thing here. The graphics are getting better. Big shout out to my man, Max and Knowles. Last but not least, It Ain't Easy Clothing. Because it ain't easy, baby. Just make it look easy. Today, we're going to cover two games. We're going to talk about the Ravens against the Steelers. We're going to talk about the Saints against the 49ers. And since the Intramural Football Club of Washington, D.C. isn't playing, I sort of have an open spot. So I called in sent a shout out. Who wants to have me shout out what they have going on, a game or whatever it is, because, I know everything. I got a few calls, and I'm going to cover those things. Let's get right to it. The Ravens Squealers. This is not going to be as easy as it looks for the Ravens. Nothing is as easy as it looks for the Ravens. They could play against the Junior Varsity Football Club of Southwestern High School of 1987, and they'd win by 6. That's the way the Ravens do it. Heart attacks, palpitations, emergency room, sign out. Ravens fans. Now, let's get right to it. The Ravens don't do well with backups, and if you need a point of reference, I've said it on many occasions. You look at when Charlie Batch, who was the third-string quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers years ago, he fried the Ravens, as I stated again, Lexington Market style, Parks fried chicken, salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce, triple mix, and some fries. That's the way he did those birds. I think that Joe Flacco is going to have a decent game, not a great game. There's been a lot of scrutiny pointed towards his direction, but I think he's going to do decently. He'll lay one up, but it will be up to the Steelers' defensive backfield to capitalize on it. The Steelers last lost to the Patriots 27-16, so they're going to be a little angry. They're going to be a little feisty, and that really doesn't translate to much because they're playing in Baltimore. They're playing against a team that's lost a few games in a row, and they're going to be a little feisty. So hopefully this doesn't turn out to be a bum bowl. But let's get right to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to be led by Landry Jones. Landry Jones is a backup quarterback, but he's a winner by nature. Don't forget he came from that Alabama Crimson Tide program, Roll Tide, and you know how they do in Alabama. So he's a winner. Le'Veon Bell, he's back, and he's healthy. He's going to be a problem against that Ravens defensive line, minus Michael Pierce Jr., who's doing his thing, beasting as usual. Somebody's listening to me on that Ravens coaching staff. They're listening to me. I've been calling this all year long. Antonio Brown. Don't forget about Antonio Brown. He'll fry them. Antonio Brown against Jimmy Smith, Sharice Wright, Ladarius Webb. I'll take Antonio Brown. I'm going with Antonio Brown on that one. Darius Haywood-Bay. He's Maryland alum, big-time draft pick. Hasn't panned out too well in the NFL, but what he has not lost is his speed. And he'll stretch that field. And Ladarius Webb, he's already struggling. They may sit him to one side to stretch one side of the field and leave Antonio Brown to do his thing. Or it may work vice versa. Darius Haywood-Bay may have a great game because they may roll all of the coverage to Antonio Brown. Whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Again, and defense travels, as I've said on many occasions, defense travels. Cameron Haywood, Lawrence Timmons, and Ryan Shazier. They're hogs. They're going to get it in. So it doesn't matter what the Ravens do or whatever. They're going to have to block these guys. The defensive backfield for the Steelers, nothing to talk about. It's really nothing to talk about. It's not so much the personnel, it's the scheme. Those who know about Dick LeBeau, those who really know about Pittsburgh football, know about Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau's scheme. If you don't know about Dick LeBeau's, it's not my job to teach you this. You're going to have to do your own homework. But Keith Butler is a disciple of Dick LeBeau. So if you think about all of the things that Dick LeBeau used to do, that's what Keith Butler's going to do. My prediction, though, because this game's at home and the Ravens are coming off of a losing streak, I don't think they're going to lose any more in a row. I think the Ravens, this is going to be a tight one as always. I can only recall one blowout in their history. I think the Ravens are going to win this one 24-19. Give or take a point. That's my prediction. Now let's talk about the great Saints. Those Saints even surprised me last week. They surprised me. They stunned Seattle, and I told you they do well on that turf. They do well. They stunned Seattle. I wasn't even a believer in my own team, but I really do believe in them. It's Drew Brees and the miracles. And what's going on is with the Saints is that the miracles have increased. It was just Drew Brees, Mark Ingram, Brandon Cooks, just those three. But now they've added Willie Snead's doing this thing, Kobe Fleener, Josh Hightower. They have some running backs who are traveling, and the defense has jumped on board. Jarius Barrett is healthier. He's getting healthier. Donnell Ellaby, former Raven. Kenny Vaccaro, big-time draft pick from Texas. Those guys are starting to gel, and any defensive coordinator that they have this year is better than that Ryan fraud that's up in Buffalo stealing a check at his brother's expense. They're getting better. Defense travels. And what's going on with the 49ers is that they have a new scheme because they have my man Colin Kaepernick back. They should have been moving forward. That was the best move to make. But he's a read option type quarterback, and they're going to have to revamp their running attack to suit Colin Kaepernick, and because the quarterback that they had before, he wasn't as mobile. The receivers are going to now have to adjust their routes because Colin Kaepernick's going to be able to escape the pocket. If you escape the pocket, you create different passing lanes. That's going to cause a little trouble for the Saints, but I think the Saints are going to have a little too much because right now the 49ers are a team in flux. They're sort of in transition. They're not going to get right for another couple of weeks, and I believe that the Saints are going to benefit from them being in flux. My prediction, Drew Brees is going to put up his numbers, 300 yards. The Saints will win this game 29-20. 29-20. They're going to win by more than a touchdown. Now, this segment of Paul Britt's Coach's Corner, something a little different because the Intramural Football Club of Washington, D.C., they didn't have a game this week. So I had some of my friends or some of my haters. It's sort of a blend. I can't tell who's who. But they called in. James Pitt said that Norv Turner should be, he's available now, and the Ravens should consider him as offensive coordinator. I agree with you 100%. Norv Turner cannot be a head coach. He's already proven that he's not that. He leaves a lot to be desired as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator, he's lights out. The Ravens need to investigate this because he resigned his position in Minnesota. He's available. Look into it. Terrence Powell, my main man, T. Powell, the head coach of the 9 and under Middle River Renegades. They're going against the stalwarts, the old guard, the Northwood Rams over in Northeast Baltimore. My prediction, the Middle River Renegades are going to smash the Rams. Rams, you better be ready. T. Powell and his boys, his son, Little Terrence, Lyman, they're going to do their thing. They're going to go smash mouth. I'm letting you know, Northwood, if you're watching Paul Britt's Coach's Corner, you better pay attention. They're going to go smash mouth. You better protect the A, B, and C gap, or you're going to get your mouth busted. I'm going Middle River Renegades. They're going to steal one. And it's played at home for Middle River, 9 and under. I'm going to say that the Middle River Renegades are going to win 27-21. It's going to be a close one. Let's say, no, we're going to go with 30-20. I like that a little bit. That sounds a little better. Mike Hill and Cardi Caldwell has been on my backs about those Patriots. And they're right. They're the best team in the business. They have the best coach in the business. I've had arguments with Timothy Tuck about Belichick being a cheater. Belichick is not a cheater. He's a winner because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Maybe Hardboiled, haven't mentioned him today. Hardboiled, maybe he needs to look into some cheating because he always seems to complain about people cheating. He's always being cheated on, whatever. Bottom line is Hardboiled is not a winner. He's a complainer. Patriots, best team in the business. They have a bye this week, but that still doesn't take away that they're the best team in the business right now, offensively, defensively. That scheme is dynamite. I think I could play quarterback for the Patriots behind Belichick and his offensive coordinator, and I think I could have minuscule success. Pluggy T. We play football with our hands. We throw the ball and we run it while we hold it. We don't kick the ball. Come on, get your life right, Pluggy T. You're wrong. Landon Saunders has called in trying to harass me. He's threatened to call the FCC, stating that we have a biased show. He says that he hasn't heard any negativity about the New Orleans Saints. That's simple, because the New Orleans Saints, there's no negativity to be discussed. They have the best coach in the league, they have the best quarterback in the league, and they have a defense that needs a lot that leaves a lot to be desired, but that's okay. But they're winning. The Saints are winning in spite of their personnel, as opposed to some teams, I'll just say the Ravens, who've won in spite of their coaches, and that's over with. So Landon Saunders, thank you for your support. That's it for Coach's Corner this week. If you have anything else that you'd like to call in, I think that we may do another segment before the weekend is out. Holler at me. You know how to get with me. Instagram, because Kelly Towns, my girl, she's going to put me on Instagram, and what's the other thing? Whatever it is, Instagram. I'm on Facebook, and whatever social media. We're going to expand this thing. Thanks a lot, Kelly Towns. Lots of love. And I'm not going to leave before I mention a nice young man passed away this weekend to those violent streets of Baltimore. Michael McCall, who played for the Bentlow Bombers and a little stint with the Sam Cassell All-Stars, Gardenville basketball program. Michael McCall, he was senselessly killed in these streets of Baltimore in the Park Heights area. We're losing too many of our young men to senseless violence. Get a young man, if you see him I'm not saying that Michael was on the wrong path, but if you see a young man maybe straying to the left or to the right, give him a hug. Let him know that you support him. Let's keep our young men safe. Jerry Gorham Sr., another guy that we lost. It wasn't because of violence. It was because of that nasty disease, cancer. Rest in heaven, brother. Rest in heaven, young Michael. We'll see each other soon on the other side. Peace and love.